Jamie Varley, the absolute monster, is due to be moved to Rampton Secure Hospital. I've received some information regarding this, which I am going to deliver to you in a moment, people, but do bear with us throughout this video because I do have a lot of information, some unanswered questions about this absolute monster. Now, we all know exactly who he is. That monster is serving life without parole for the murder of poor little Preston Davey. Now, like I said, bear with us because somebody did question and someone mentioned about Preston's proper name, which I'm going to speak about after this, people. So, this is the info that I've received. So, prisoner Jamie Varley is due to his consistent refusal of solid foods as well as sealed produce that has not been opened is of serious concern to Judy Oscars ones and Governor Metcalfe. So Governor Metcalfe obviously is Michelle Metcalfe, I believe. Don't quote me on that first name because I did look into it, but do believe it was Michelle. But I know it's Governor Metcalfe who runs HMP Wakefield Monster Mansion. So following Varley's recent act review with multidisciplinary teams, it has been established that due to his current state of psychiatric instability, the prisoner state would not be willing to continue his detention and that a planned move to Rampton Secure Hospital shall be expedited on a date to be announced commencing this week. Now, that's as much as I can say about this, what I've received. Actually, there's a little bit more. All parties have been notified and 2 general practitioners are in agreement of Varley's decline in psychological illness warrants more tailored care until he can be safely returned to the custody of HM Prison Service. This is an absolute travesty. That absolute wrong'un should not be getting sent to Rampton Secure Hospital. When prisoners get sent to a secure hospital, they are no longer classed as prisoners. They are classed as patients, and it's not a prison. In a hospital, you have hospital wards, so they're not referred to as wings or house blocks, and he's not referred to as a prisoner. He's going to be referred to as a patient, and he's going to be looked after because he needs looking after, the little horrible thing. But what I will say as well, I'll be careful about what I say on here because yesterday's video that I put up, even though all I was doing was reading articles that were online as well, but when you say certain words, it flags up. The video flagged up. I got an email through off YouTube saying about certain words that you say on YouTube, and it's absolutely ridiculous, even though it's all over in the press and different things. The video I done yesterday about another little one, the same thing happened as what happened to baby Preston. And I spoke about it on there. And when I did say a few of the words, one of them being RAPE, it flags up, which is absolutely ridiculous, but that's just what happens. So, as the majority of people know about this wrong'un being on hunger strike inside of HMP Wakefield, crying and wailing like a big baby. It is absolutely ridiculous. He shouldn't be given any attention whatsoever. He should be left to rot in a dungeon, in a darkened room. Chuck a few bits of bread in now and again and a bit of water. He'll soon eat it and drink the water when he has them pains of being on hunger strike. But with him being a teacher and obviously well educated, you cannot say he's not. He came from a deprived area of Blackpool, but he was obviously educated because he was head of year, he was a teacher. So he will know, and he would have looked into this whilst he had his 2 years out in the community, whilst he was on bail, he would have researched, looked into things, even though the absolute wrong'un believed that he was going to be getting a not guilty. That's why he was crying, wailing inside of the witness box. Well, not the witness box, the stand inside the courtroom. That's why he had to be dragged out, because he was crying, sobbing, because he thought he was going to be getting a not guilty. He convinced himself he'd done nothing wrong. Absolute horror of a man, and he shouldn't be given any sympathy whatsoever. So two general practitioners, psychiatrists or whatever it was I've just read there, are in agreement that his mental health is in decline. Well, to be honest with you, anybody that goes into prison with a life without parole, I'm sure the mental health is going to decline. It cannot not. If you have been given a sentence where you're never to be released from prison, I'm sure your mental health is going to decline. So do not bow down to his needs and let him, like I've just said, rot in a dungeon. He's getting too much care as it is. But little poor Preston Davey, rest his little soul. Someone had commented, someone had actually messaged as well saying, can you please stop referring to him as Preston Davey, because that's not his proper, that wasn't his name. He was called Elijah by his foster parents before he was given to these two beasts who ended him, with Jamie Varley and his other half, who knew exactly what was going on, John McGowan for Zachary. So I've looked into it, and when he was being known as Preston Davey from the day he was born, he was given the name by his mother, Sarah Davey. Obviously, the poor little mite was taken away from her, put into foster care. The foster parents had him for 9 months. Then these adoptive parents, if that's what you can call them, these are monsters who were adopting him through a baby naming party. They named him, they got rid of his second name, Preston Davey, and they named him Preston Elijah. So I just thought I would clarify that, because like I say, there has been a few comments and someone actually messaged saying, could you please stop referring to him as Preston Davey and call him Elijah? Well, that would be an insult, because those two monsters named him that. And some more information that has come to light, which is in the public domain. It's been headlines today when I had a look. And it says, petrified Preston Davey killer changes name in desperate bid to hide real identity in jail. So it says has reportedly changed his name after threats in prison. It says he is trying to save his skin in prison by changing his name. The sick ex-teacher, jail for life for doing what he done. I won't repeat it, because like I've said, videos get flagged and I do not want that. I wasn't going to do another video on this wronging until he got that treatment. The bacon basher. The little piggy was going to be coming out when he gets prison justice, because it's not if, it's when. Like I've said, Huntley waited 10 years for his justice, and justice was served up in the very best of manners, shall we say. So it says he is said to have assumed the made-up name Harry Robb just days after being banged up in HMP Wakefield, dubbed Monster Mansion. Reports suggest Varley has formally applied to change his name by deed poll in a process that costs £53, and he has even added the middle name J, it is claimed. But when I'm reading this article, there's a few different articles, and it says, like this one, it says, he has changed his name to Harry J. Robb in the hope of giving himself anonymity, because he is absolutely petrified. An insider has told there have already been threats against, oh, well, of course, there'll be threats against him till the day he dies. He's never to be released, only in a body bag, but which way will his end come? Will it be by the prisoners? Will it be by himself? Or will it be natural causes? Take your pick, people. Let me know what you think. So when it says there's been threats against him and he thinks that by changing his name, people are less likely to recognise him and know who he is. He has a huge target on his back and he thinks his new name will make him safer and will help him escape vigilante attacks. Now this is absolute bollocks. He might be in the process, but he's only been in Wakefield. It says here, days after getting into Wakefield. He only went to Wakefield on the 18th of June. So, what's that, about 3 weeks ago. Now, prisoners can legally change their names in prison. So, prisoners in the UK can legally change their name, but not without permission while inside. Changing your name by deed poll is a legal right, but prison governors retain structured discretion over whether to officially recognise a change of name within the prison system. To successfully change your name while incarcerated, the following applies. Now listen to Rule 1. You cannot change your name to hide from criminal pasts. Every criminal and every monster would have changed their names if that was the case. Ian Huntley wouldn't have been called Huntley, would he, after 20 odd years? He would have definitely changed his name. Wayne Couzens, Levi Belfield, all these. But the only way you can change your name is through religious reasons. Religious, marriage. It does also say psychological. So psychological will probably refer to something that has happened to them and they want to get rid of the name to get rid of their past. Not because of what they've actually done, but because of what something might have happened to them. But none of that applies to him. Religious, marriage, psychological. The only way it will become religious is if Levi Belfield, because he's still Levi Belfield, but he has now got an Islamic name added onto the end. So if he converts to Islam, then he might have a chance of changing his name. But that says it takes up to 12 weeks. It takes 6 to 12 weeks for the courts to process the application. But first of all, he's got to put an app into the governor, which takes up to 7 to 14 days. Then the governor has to approve it, and then it takes up to 12 weeks. So he hasn't changed his name inside the system. He might be in the process. He'll be trying everything he can because he's an absolute wrong and monster. Absolute little weasel who can only harm little ones. But there's also another article that is online that I'm going to read to you now. So, Preston Davey killer found out partner had cheated and took it out on baby pal claims. A former work colleague of sicko Jamie Varley has revealed what they believe may have been the real reason he began doing this to the little one. The depraved killer may have done this to the little one after he found out his boyfriend had cheated on him, a former colleague has claimed. His partner, John McGowan Fazakali, was handed a 25-year jail term for his part in what had happened. A woman who worked with Varley believes McGowan may not have been faithful, and Varley reacted badly when he found out. He found out that John, the monster, had cheated on him, and I think he took it out on the little one. Well, this is obviously all just hearsay, but I just thought I would bring that to your attention because a lot of people will be reading this online today, and they will also be believing it. And all of these Facebook pages that spout absolute garbage, and everyone believes it because the majority of people will say something to believe it. But when I've read that, I've read it before I came on, when I've read back through it again, yes, this person has been interviewed, a former work colleague, but this is just her assumptions. This is what she believes. But if that was the case, then why was the partner also doing it? This isn't the case. He hasn't done it because of that. Yes, he might have been cheating on him. That wrong'un might have been cheating on the other wrong'un. But this isn't the reason why he started doing it, because they were doing it together. So I just thought I would come on and put them rumours to bed as well, because like I say, anyone will jump on and go to the papers. The papers are going round asking loads of people for interviews and everything else. I've been contacted by quite a few myself saying, can you give us an interview, please, to let us know what Varley will be expecting inside of prison. The same with Digwa. Every time these monsters are sentenced and the high-profile cases, the press get in touch with me and they'll say, can you give us an interview? And I'll say, yes, there's me flat rate fee. I hear no more from them. Then the next day, I'm in the papers. Not massive, shall we say, mainstream media type papers, but ones like, what was it? Few different ones. It was the Manchester Evening News, actually. Yorkshire Live, different things like that. You go online, and I'm all over Facebook. And I'm like, they've put my words, what I've seen on these videos, word for word, in the article. But if you're watching this now and you're getting some more info from us, I know you're not going to pay us for me story, because every time I give you me flat rate fee, which isn't much for me time, by the way, you then think, right, we'll not bother paying him, we'll just take it from his YouTube when he does a video on it. But in future, put a link to me channel so that people can click on it. Yes, you put me name and me putting me channel, but when they've done this previously, when I did give me permission about a year ago about another case, I said, yes, plug me channel. They plugged it properly so people can click on it and it takes you straight to me channel. So if you are watching this and getting some more info to put inside your papers and put inside your press articles, do us a favour and do that. But also, people, 70% of viewers are still not subscribed to my channel. So go down, double check to make sure, because a lot of me subscribers that have been with us for years have said they've went and double checked, and for some reason they weren't subscribed anymore. YouTube does that sometimes for some reason, automatically unsubscribes people. So hit that subscribe button, people. It makes a massive difference to the channel. It doesn't cost anything to hit the button. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss another video. But yes, I just thought I would come on and give you these facts. The first one, he is in the process of going to Rampton Secure Hospital, which he'll be safer there. He'll be put on a ward with a load of other monsters who will be doped up to the eyeballs. And obviously, they won't be wanting to do anything wrong, because they will not be wanting to get removed out of that facility. Because being inside of a secure hospital, full of medication, out of your nut, so you don't even know where you're at, is a lot better than being inside of a prison. And a lot of prisoners do this on purpose to get put in these facilities. That wrong'un should not be getting sent to that facility. He should be made to suffer in silence inside the segregation unit with no light on, bread and water, and that's it. He doesn't even deserve that. But I will keep you updated about what happens, people, and there is loads more stories to cover. Somebody did actually send me another story, which I will cover in the next day or two, about another little one. And the parents are up on trial at the moment for the murder of their little one. Same age, 2-year-old, I believe. And also something bad has happened as well before the death. So I will be covering that story as well. People says do stay tuned, and I'm going to leave that one there for now, people. And as usual, if you are enjoying the content, remember to comment, like and subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your day, people, but most importantly, stay safe.